The best DeMarcus Cousins pair of shoes I've ever seen in my life. Guys, these are the DeMarcus Cousins game worn in the blue chip, the 2010 SEC Tournament Championship versus Mississippi State.
I'm Isaiah. I'm GM Sports Cards on Instagram. I work for Jimmy, freshman at UK.
Freshman at UK. All right, show us how it's done.
So you go to your camera roll, click the link, and it'll take you exactly to the clip.
Let's watch it. Okay, so we're down by 2 points. Wall takes the shot. DeMarcus grabs the rebound. Team, yes! Let's go! Last time I was at the Kentucky Roadshow, this did not exist. What do we got here?
So we took over the spot next to us, and it's pretty awesome because I've always had a dream of this for sure. And we punched a whole way through here. What it is something not normal, which is what I always wanted, something different. And this is a museum, and it's not just, it's a lot of Kentucky stuff and pieces of stuff long before I was born. And stuff that games I was at, and shoes being worn by players that I saw, players that I knew, different things. And then there's NBA stuff that has nothing to do with Kentucky. There's football stuff. There's Kentucky football. There's other football. All of this stuff was stuff that used to be up in my house. But now you can come in here and you can see this stuff and it'd be like, oh, I can scan this QR code and I can see a highlight of De'Aaron Fox wearing those Kobe's in the SEC tournament that Kentucky won that year. And then you can see all this, like not only what it is it's cool, oh, player worn, game worn, and you can get the story yourself and you can see all the stories from this. And there's tons of different stuff. Like this in Kentucky, but this is awesome. That's a signed ball. It's newly signed by the Big O, Oscar Robertson, but it's a game-used ball from the 60s in the NBA. Like, what? Like, I don't even know how you get one of those. But, like, everything from cool bourbon bottles to, like, this. Like, Ashton Higgins' game-worn shoes versus Louisville. And then behind it, you can see him wearing the shoes in the picture where he's dunking in the first overtime game versus Louisville in 20 years. Like, it's all over the place. A 1930s football helmet, right? Like, that's crazy. Like, that's ridiculous stuff. How about a famous jockey? His last ride. He's a customer. He came in. He gave me boots from his last ride. He's a Hall of Famer. Like, that's ridiculous to me. How is this in here? And it's like, I don't want to put this all in my house. I want people to come in and enjoy it and check it out. Like Bam Adebayo's shoes. And he writes his childhood address on them to never forget where he came from. Like, how cool is that?
Whoa, it touched you there.
I want people to see that stuff. And then what's not in here yet is like we ordered some couches and different stuff so people can come in and sit. And it's like, even if you're a person that you came here with your brother, your daughter, your son, your mother, whoever's collecting and you don't really do it, you're going to be able to come in here, sit on a couch, there'll be a coffee bar, place to charge your phone, right? Like something, what would I want if I was stuck in a shop I didn't really want to be in? Well, I want some cool stuff to look at. A couch to sit on, charge my phone, have a cup of coffee and chill. That's all that's in here. And it's baseball, basketball, football, different things, pro, college, all that. So that's what we built.
I like it.
Colombian coffee.
Oh, there you go. Colombian coffee.
We only bring the best.
So only the best. Only the best.
And then it's awesome too because during trade nights we set up tables in here. We put the TV on for that, and like now we got more space to do more events and things like that. So
like, let's just say a year from now, like, what do you think in this will change? Like, what are we looking for here?
I think you'll see a couch here, a couch there, a coffee bar there.
Tell them why you wanted the coffee bar. Remember what you said about the moms?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It was I want the moms to be comfortable. I want the dads to be comfortable. The people that come in, that bring in somebody else who's over in the card section, like diving into dollar boxes, that you can chill and still enjoy your time here. And be like, okay, that's a good place to take my kid or my brother or my uncle, and I'm still good. And I think that's important. And then we got the NBA Jams over there. I want to put another arcade game in there. But then you have a couch, but then on the other side, I've got a a bench from the upper deck at Rupp, so you can actually sit on history and while you're looking at history.
These are the cleats. Friendly Sport, it's a non-profit, and it's from a good friend of ours that is a soccer player, professional soccer player. So he played in Europe, in South America, in different clubs. Played the Champions League once with the Bulgarian team and all that. But he decided that he wanted to create a non-profit who could produce these cleats who are good quality and all that stuff to give away for the kids, right? We love the project and we decided to support it, and we have given about 1,500 cleats in total in Bogota, in Colombia, not in Bogota.
And this is the Football Roadshow with...
And this is the Football Roadshow with Friendly Sport, and the name of the player is Sebastián Hernández.
Okay.
Because he remembers when he was growing up and seeing all the kids trying to train soccer, but they were barefoot and they couldn't, they didn't have the tools to play or to really train. So now that he is almost about to retire, he decided to create this brand. This is his brand, and he wants to just give as many of these as possible. And we want that as well, so we give them cards and we give them cleats. Okay. So that's just one of those samples.
And then what else we got in here? I see some signed stuff.
So you see the gloves right there?
Yeah.
We are on our grand opening night. We had this former goalkeeper, Oscar Cordova. And this is the brand of the gloves that he used when he's a goalkeeper, right? But he was the goalkeeper of Colombia in the '94 World Cup here in the US, and he was the captain of the team. He's been around for many years, so it was really cool to have him at our grand opening night. And he signed these gloves, this ball, and this Colombian jersey as well. That's his auto right here. And then this one you see up here, Nicole Regnier 11. She was one of the first professional women players that we had in Colombia, right? Back then, she played for Atletico Madrid, played for another club in Switzerland, if I'm not wrong. And she's all about women's soccer, and now she's a reporter for ESPN, and she's a brand ambassador of Adidas and other brands. So she was at our grand opening night as well, so it was really cool. Then this stuff that you see here is signed by her and by Oscar Cordova. So there's this little Colombian corner.
We had to add a little bit of the Football Roadshow in Kentucky.
Oh yeah, and just this little Colombian corner, Football Roadshow in this awesome museum.
That's awesome, man. Let's go. Jimmy, I know you're a huge Braves fan.
Huge.
And you did tell me, you know what, if all else goes wrong, they won a World Series in your lifetime. I'm
good for 20 years. I'm in great shape. So, I love Acuna probably more than some of my cousins. And I'm not a new Braves fan. I was a Braves fan when it was Dale Murphy and they were terrible. So, game worn bat. And it's cool when you buy Acuna stuff from US. He signs his own certificate. So, you kind of get 2 autos, which is cool. But dirt from the World Series last year. I went to game 3 with my wife and best friend Lyle, who some of y'all met today. Game worn shoes. And you can try, he hit a home run off Max Scherzer when Scherzer was on the Nationals in these.
I gotta ask you, so that's a whole game used jersey.
Yes.
I've noticed that a lot of your Acuna stuff, I know you have binders of Acuna cards. You could own a whole jersey. Would you rather own a whole game used jersey over some of the best patches?
I think at a certain point you get there, right? I've got lots of really cool Acuna cards, like that one that you saw earlier.
Insane.
It's sick. And I've got all these great rookies and I love them. But I always wanted this Acuna, an Acuna game worn jersey. I didn't know which type, red, white, blue, gray. But so then this year, they did the first ever Hank Aaron Hall of Fame, or Hank Aaron weekend. They wore the great feather on the sleeve throwback jerseys from when Hank Aaron hit his record-breaking home run. And I was like, it's my favorite jersey of all time. Any team, I just think they look awesome. And then afterwards, they put them up for auction, and I was like, oh man, if I'm going to go for a gamer and I can get the throwback jersey I love from the first Hank Aaron weekend, and even though he hadn't hit a lot of homers this year, that weekend was Acuna's first home run of the year. I was like, okay, I'm going to go for it. I'm just going to go for it. And I ended up winning it. And all the money went to charity, which I just love naturally anyway. But I get my first Acuna game-worn jersey, and it's the throwback jersey, and it's Hank Aaron weekend, and it's his first home run. That's worth more than a cool card patch to me. Just cause
this was the jersey you wanted over any of the regular season jerseys.
No doubt. no, if I didn't think I'd ever be able to get one because they don't wear them that much.
Yeah.
So then I keep it in here, and I've got the NLCS base from last year when they beat the Dodgers, and that was actually the closeout game. But this is kind of like a little Braves section. I'm still developing it all. I love my Braves, have since the 80s and Dale Murphy and when we were terrible. And now I've lived through a really cool World Series. I went to Game 3 last year with my wife. And this was just too awesome, so I had to get some cool stuff.
So you're opening a shop in Colombia, in Dallas. You have a shop
Bronxville,
in New York, and now you're going to be opening in the next 2 months
in Sonoma, California, with Ryan and Justin, my guy.
Ryan and Justin, those are great friends of ours.
Love
California Roadshow.
Yes.
Tell me about this jersey, because I know the story, and I want everybody to know this story.
So I love this. I go out to Sonoma to look at the spot they picked, and this is early on, and I get a chance to go to my first Golden State game, and the Twins and Tracy Hackler goes, David Diamondstein, the whole crew, and we're out there, and they are the Twins. They're graphers. They got it down to a daggum science, right? They're like hit the walk button on this, or the car stops, and then like do everything but like slash the tires to get the guy's autograph. It's hysterical. I love them to death. So that night we watched Curry. He was awesome, and they were wearing these jerseys, and I was like, guys, do you think, because they've gotten to know Curry, they've grafted him so much, and Curry will be like, yeah, hey, come over here. Like, he knows him because he's cool with them. And I was like, if I get a jersey, like replica jersey, of course, from that night, the kind he was wearing, do y'all think you can get it signed for me? And they were like, oh yeah. And I was like, I trust you, like, yeah. And like within like 15 days, they took a picture signed with Curry on there. And I was like, that's awesome. That's going in my museum. That's perfect for the California Roadshow guys. And so that means a lot to me personally.
That's cool.
I'd never sell it.
I like that.
So that I love those guys. They're going to kill it in California, but that Curry jersey is going to stay here.
That thing's special. I like that. I have the QR system.
Well, a couple of reasons, really. One is I'm not always going to be here to tell the story of what this is and all that. Now, then there's always another story of how they came here. And some of those are crazy too. Can't QR that. But, I mean, if you think about cards and collecting, you're in the nostalgia business. You are in the business of reliving that moment, that feeling, right? That piece of glitter that fell on you that you get to keep that reminds you of that. And to me, this allows you to relive those moments. Cards, it's all in your mind usually, but then you can go back and you can watch it right here. And especially if you're like, oh, I don't have a Cousins Kentucky rookie, but I remember that game and all this, and those are the shoes right there, and oh, let me watch that again, boom, and you go right to the highlight. To me, it's just going beyond. How do you go beyond what just somebody would expect to make your experience better?
What in the world is this?
So no joke, lady comes in, first couple months we're open, it's like, my son has had this stuffed cat forever. And that, like, not surprised at all with Kentucky fans. They have a stuffed Wildcat in their house. And she's like, I got to get rid of it. And I was already laughing when she came in with it because I knew this was what it was going to be. I was like, I'll take it, whatever. Like, worst bargainer ever. I'm like, $200, sure.
You paid her $200 for it?
Oh my gosh, it was just for the story I paid her $200. So then we put it up, and we're like, and I can't remember who it was, it might have been Trey or Dante that said, let's get a little cardinal and put it up there, a Louisville Cardinal, so it looks like the cat's in the cardinal. And they were like, we got to name it. And we're like, oh, Cat Riley instead of Pat Riley. So it's Cat Riley eating the cardinal, stuffed. And it was funny is, like 2 months later, the son that had the cat comes in and was like, that's my cat. And he didn't want to sell it, but his mom wanted it out of the house. I was like, perfect. I'm sorry, bud. I paid $200 for it. It's staying.
Jimmy, out of all the Kentucky Wildcats, besides Oscar, I feel like this guy has like a real personal connection here, and that is Tyrese Maxey.
He is definitely got a great connection with us, and I adore him and his family. We sponsored their camp. You do that, and you're trying to help athletes with their camps. you wonder is this just a tax write-off? Do you really care? Dude, the Maxes care. His mom, his dad, his mom's best friend of 20 years, his dad's high school or his college roommate, Maxie's high school coach. I mean, Isaiah was there. All these guys were there. Like, they're awesome people. And
Unbelievable. Like, the biggest thing for me was, like, you got all these kids. There's, 300 kids?
Mm-hmm.
And there was a kid crying. And Maxie went across the gym out of his way to talk to the kid, inspire the kid, and, like, stayed with him for the rest of the camp. The kid ended up getting, like, best camper award, too. Not a lot of people in his position, would do that. And that really showed me what type of person he is. So
right, that's just a ton, and they were really about creating a cool thing for people here to like play with your hero, to hang out. It plays one-on-one with every single kid at the camp. So at the end of it, he signed this. I had a game-worn jersey of his, and he signed that to Jimmy. Thanks for everything. He signed a bunch of stuff for us, and signed for Isaiah, signed for Tyler, everybody at the shop, but that's the kind of guy I want to be around and be in a partnership with. Like, that's what we're about. And so when you see that, of course, especially with Kentucky guys and great players, man, it just gets you more fired up. And it makes you want to PC them even more than I already did.
So, Jimmy, you obviously talk a lot about, bringing these guys back. They're kids when they're here.
Yeah.
You get to watch them grow up. You got guys like Maxie, and then I noticed Emmanuel Quickly's obviously been into the shop. What is it like? What's your goal when you bring these guys back? Obviously, the goal is to get them back, but after that, what is it all about for you?
Well, it's different for us because when we do pay a guy to do a signing, it's not go sit in the back of our shop, sign 1,000 jerseys, and then us resell them later. Nothing wrong with that. Lord knows I buy a ton from people that do that. But for here, with the way basketball is in the community in Kentucky and in Kentucky football too, I want them to spend an hour and a half or 2 hours meeting people in the community. So instead of signing 1,000 jerseys in 2 hours, they're going to meet 90 people. And that person's going to be able to bring in their thing that they want signed. Maybe there's some ball that's been passed down through the family, or some jersey that they're trying to get the whole team from 17-18 to sign, or something like that. So for us, and they get to feel the love from the community. So the athletes get that, and they get to feel that love, and then we get to facilitate the community meeting their heroes, and that's what I want.
That's awesome. This right here is one of the nicest players I've ever met from anything, and you have a strong connection with him. Introduce us to this and who this guy is.
Well, this is really cool because Player of the Year last year, all the basketball accolades, he won them all last year, Oscar Tshiebwe. In a roundabout way, we met each other and got to be friends, and then it really grew. And it's funny, I will actually spend a couple hours with him every other day. We just sit and talk, and it's funny. It's what do y'all talk about? Who's going to be good down low or whatever? Actually, we just talk about life and the Lord. And we talk about God and life, and that is it. And he's got a good friend named Jockey who's out there who's also from Africa. And we sit down by the farm by the creek in my house, and we just talk about Christ, and that's how it is. And I'm not trying to convert or do any of that kind of stuff. I'm just saying that's what we talk about as men of faith. And it's funny, he'll come in the shop sometimes, and he'll inspire anybody within 30 feet of a guy. And he's taught kids in here and done all that all the time. And one time he came in, we had this, because his name's Oscar, and they made it look like an Oscar. What we'll do is, he saw it, he's like, oh, I need to sign that. And he came over and was like, and he signed it for me. I was like, I didn't even get to ask him to sign it. So, but he is a man of inspiration and a man of faith. And two things that I don't think you can care more about, I could care more about. So being able to know him as a basketball player is great, and that is fun, and we know lots of great basketball players. But I don't care if he was a welder. I'd want to be around this man. He is that type of guy, and to me, the more I can have people like that around this place, the better it makes this place. So I think I'm honored and blessed to have him around.
That is the extension of Jimmy's Kentucky Roadshow, aka the Kentucky Roadshow, aka Roadshow cards. I'm so glad I got to see this because I heard about it, and to actually see it in person, Wow, that's all I can say. Appreciate you guys having us. Isaiah,
Always.
Jimmy, Juan Pablo dancing it out here. Thank you so much, man.
Dude, thank you. And I'm not even done yet. We got more to do.
We got more to do. So if you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe and follow these guys on Instagram, the Football Roadshow, Kentucky Roadshow Shop. And we'll see you guys for the next video.